Hello, folks. Right, it's Matt here with yet another episode of The Cave. Okay, so tonight then, we got a little chat with Mr. Graham Gord's 1001 Entwistle. If that's his full name, I don't know. Maybe we'll ask him. And we've got some other bits and bobs coming up. But anyway, let's get the title sorted out and we'll go straight into it. See you in a second.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Hello. Right then. The person you'll see next to me is Mr. Graham Gord's 1001 Entwistle, as one might notice him on the chat. Say hello, Mr. Graham Gord's 1001 Entwistle.
Hello, everyone.
You didn't say the
Yes,
full name.
this is me.
Oh, never mind. Come on. Right, so basically what we're doing then is we're going to have a little chat first off about batteries and specifically clone batteries, and Graham's going to give us a little bit of a background of how batteries came to be from a torch user's perspective, and it's quite an interesting little tale, to be honest. And he'll give us a little insight into batteries. So, when you're ready.
Right. Vaping, as far as batteries are concerned, is a very new thing. You'll often see on the forums, yeah, I hope to see some vaping batteries released. You're not going to do. Seriously, get used to that idea. Unless you can buy batteries in terms of 1 million or 2 million cells, no one's going to talk to you about manufacturing batteries.
Actually, well, you mentioned that. I did read the other day something about Sony were thinking about the market. I mean, have you got any opinion on that? Do you think that's just someone making something up, or
Urban legends are
no?
quite common. I really don't see it. The last time I was heard or was speaking to anyone, the common opinion was, unless you want to order a couple of million batteries,
Right.
no one's going to speak to you about designing a battery that will do something specific. And to be honest, if you're only buying a couple of million batteries, they will say, here's our catalogue. Feel free to order which one you think suits you. The batteries that we use are meant for power tools, electric vehicles, so on and so forth. They're not designed for torches. They're not designed for vaping. They're not designed for electric bikes. Everyone rides on the shoulders of giants. These batteries are designed for electric vehicles and power tools. So if you open up, for argument's sake, a DeWalt power pack, you'll probably find Samsung cells in there.
Don't do that, anyone. Probably not a good idea.
No, don't open up power packs to get 18650s. It's not worth it. You can buy you can buy batteries that are relatively new for so little. It's not worth the risk on a used pack.
No. So carry
Go
on.
on, sorry.
No. Yeah, right.
Well, I was going to say.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I was going to say that the thing is, we are aware of fake cells, clone cells. You usually think that they've got an ultrafire wrapper on. It's a lot bigger than that. You can get cloned laptop battery packs. You can get cloned power tool packs. anything you can think of, you can get clone versions of that will not match up to the manufacturer's specs. So if you were to buy a legitimate DeWalt pack, you're talking 60 quid.
Yeah.
There'll be 3 or 6 cells in it. So you're still talking about a tenner a cell, which is less than most e-cig vendors sell them for.
Yeah. It's, I've seen a lot of chat over the last few years about people cracking open laptop battery power packs just to get the 4 or 6 18650s out of those, which isn't necessarily the best idea.
No. The problem is most laptop packs, well, all laptop packs will be ICR cells anyway, and when you use them singularly, they should have a protection circuit fitted.
Yes. That
prevents over discharge, excessive current, etc., etc. There's a myth in vaping that protected cells don't allow any current through, but you can buy protected cells with a 7 amp circuit in them. 7 amps will do down to 8.8 ohms. So you can use them. I wouldn't try and use them in mechs because mechs are machines, so they won't take it. The batteries are too fat. A protected cell has 2 wraps on it and a brass strip running up the inside of it to power the protection circuit.
Right, I do have some here actually. While you're going on there, yeah.
I could have gone and grabbed it myself.
Here's a protected cell here, look, protected 18650, and it is slightly fatter than your standard.
Yeah, they generally clock out at 19.6 millimeters rather than 18 mil.
Yeah,
and they tend to be closer to 70 millimeters than 65. I don't know how many people are aware of that, but 18650 actually specifies the cell.
Yes.
18 millimeters is the diameter, 65 millimeters is the length, 0 is the shape of the cell. It can be round or flat.
Yeah.
So you can get an 1865 square as well.
No, okay.
For example.
So what's that? As an 18652? 18652 is it?
No, 18 millimeters length, 65 millimeters wide, but square in profile. As an example.
No, I was just thinking of the number, and that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. All the digits do is designate the shape of the cell and the size of the cell. So 350 is a 35 mil cell, 490, 49 mil, exactly, etc.
It's quite shocking the amount of batteries that don't actually quite adhere to that spec, though.
The thing is, the bare cells will adhere to those specs. It's an industry
it's the wrapping,
standard.
isn't it? Yeah.
But once you add the wrapping and a protection circuit, for example, or a nipple top, they don't adhere to that spec anymore. So it becomes a bit misleading. But that's what it's all based on. It's an industry standard, and we all pirate it to sort of identify what our cells are. You also have cells that are equivalent to cells that we're used to seeing, like 14500s are double A's, 10440s are triple A's, 26500s are C cells, and 32600s are D cells. And yes, I do have 32650s.
Because would it be safe to assume that pretty much all batteries that vapors use are rewraps on the whole?
If they're buying from manufacturer or manufacturer's cells, there's about 7 companies that make cells. There's MNKE, Molicel, LG, Panasonic, Samsung, Sony, Sanyo. They are all manufacturers. They have plants dotted about in Canada, Japan, Korea. I don't think any of them actually do manufacture in China at the moment, but it seems that they're moving over towards there. But the Chinese have manufactured cells, they're just not really of note. But if you're buying something like a Keep Power, an AW, eFest, Imren, AWT, there's a variety of different manufacturers, and what they do is they buy in batches of cells, usually from companies that are selling off old stock, rewrap them, put their label on, put their own ratings on, and pass them on. And this is where the dangerous part of it comes. You should be going off the data sheets of the cells. Now, the one problem I have with Sony's is that they don't make the data sheets available.
Right.
Panasonic's and Samsung's, if you look around, you can find the PDFs of the data sheets. You can download them, you can read them. You can see what current you should be charging them at. You can see what current you should be discharging them at. You can see what the minimum voltage that you should go down to is, because you never run a lithium-ion cell flat until it reaches 0 volts. Some are safe down to 2.5 volts, some are safe down to 2.75 volts. Most protection circuits will drop out at 3 volts to give you a bit of overhead for inaccuracies in the protection circuit.
Yeah. As most regulated mods will drop out around about 3.2 as well, won't they?
That's right, it's the same with torches.
Yeah.
They do the same thing, they drop out between 3 and 3.2 volts to prevent you over discharging the cell. Now, any power pack that's constructed from lithium-ion cells has a protection circuit in it. Doesn't matter whether what's inside that is IMRs, INRs, LiFePol 4s, ICRs. They will all have a protection circuit, and they prevent that pack being discharged below the safe voltage of the pack. They prevent you overcharging it. They're there to stop the cells going nuclear and trying to kill you, which is what these cells do if you abuse them.
Okay.
They don't go quietly.
Right. I suppose we really should address the elephant in the room, and I'm not going to name any names. But there has been a case recently of a well-known vendor and allegedly supplying, shall we say, below par batteries. Now, I'm not firmly convinced one way or the other, but I would suggest that they bought them in good faith from a supplier.
I'd say so too.
No.
I don't know of many vendors that really know very much about the cells.
No.
At all. All they can do is trust that what they get sold are good cells, which you might argue is dangerous, but there's not a lot you can do. There's a couple of vendors that I use that
yes.
I would say are very knowledgeable.
Yeah, I feel free to name those vendors. I've got a funny idea. I know exactly who those two would be.
Well, you know who they are because you use them as well.
Yes.
And they're off eBay, which, let's be honest, first advice you get, don't buy batteries off eBay. But that's where they do their trade. But that's Torch the Battery Boy, who's been in the game longer than I have. He's not a vapor, and he's certainly he's been messing around with them and testing them and providing good information to users for a lot longer than vaping's even been known about. And the other one is EcoLux Shop. Now, no preference here, but personally, EcoLux Shop impresses me because they do tend to send a safety sheet with the cells.
Yes, they do. Yes, I've had a few of those. Yeah.
And I think that is a fantastic thing that they should do, and people should pay attention to that.
One of the things, we were discussing before the show, before I got into vaping, a battery to me was something I stuck in my remote control, something I stuck in my Sony PlayStation controller. It wasn't anything that I really had to be particularly wary about. But when I started vaping, I quickly read up on everything there was to know, or I don't say everything because I'm by no means an expert at all, but everything that made sense to me of respecting the battery.
Well, the thing is, lithium-ion cells are not a consumer product.
No.
They're not designed for people like you and me to go and buy from a shop. We can do.
Yeah.
You can go to a high street store and buy them now, and I'm not talking about a vaping shop.
Actually, as it happens, you mentioned that not long after I started vaping, I got onto the larger tube mods. It required 18650s. I happened to be near Maplin's, so I thought, I wonder if they sell them. I popped in there, I had a look at the battery rack, and I had all manner of PP3s and AA's, AAA's, and what have you. I didn't see them there, so I went to ask the assistant. I said, "Do you sell 18650s?" And I just got a what?
Yeah, you won't, but you can walk in the shop and find a product that has two 18650s and what is, in my opinion, a fucking lethal charger that you shouldn't be using. Sorry. But yes, you can buy 18650s from a high street shop. Well, not high street, retail park shop off the shelf. And it's in a pack with a torch. But they are not consumer products. If you ask Sony...
Yeah, go on, carry on.
If you ask Sony about them, they won't tell you very much unless you're persistent. Because we're not supposed to be using them. They're supposed to be sold to big manufacturers and put into packs with safety circuits, and that's how they're supposed to be used.
So that raises the question, if Sony don't provide a data sheet for their batteries, where are these people getting the data sheets from?
They have provided one to someone, and it's been much copied and shared.
Right.
If you're persistent and you present yourself in the correct manner, they will give you information.
Right. Okay.
But it's not easy to acquire. If you really want to know about batteries, there's a website called hkj.dfe. You will find HKJ on all the torch forums. He reviews cells, he reviews battery chargers, and I'll be honest, I've learnt most of what I know from him.
Right, okay.
He's very, very, very good.
I mean,
V rates are so good. It's good.
I mean, I'll confess, I mean, most of my reading was at the Battery University. I don't know how reliable a resource that was, but a lot of it made a lot of sense to me. It's
very good.
Yeah.
It's a very good resource. With regards to safety and the like, very, very good. If you want to look for reviews of cells that are decent reviews, you can't look on vaping forums. There's not anyone really testing them other than Torchy the Battery Boy on UKB. But if you go on the Torch forums like Budget Light Forum, the Flashlight Forum, Candle Power Forums, you will find HKJ on there, and his website is available. What I'll do is I'll find the link and add it to that thread that I gave to you.
Okay. Actually, while we think about Sav, would you mind awfully pasting that link into chat? Thank you. That would be lovely. So yeah, chat. You should see that link fairly shortly. It goes to the was it the Vapors forum?
The vaping forum.
Yeah.
That's what us Flashaholics set up, so we could talk about.
Right, because he was explaining before the show that there's a little bit of animosity between Vapors and Torch Flashaholics, as you call it, as they're called.
Yeah, basically, we were used to buying lots of batteries from Fastech and other Chinese companies, but we might be buying 8, 10, 12 cells each, but the world market was probably 100 cells a month, if that. And the postal services didn't notice that and didn't care. Then vaping took off, and that 100 cells a week or a month suddenly becomes thousands and thousands and thousands of cells. Now, given what we're saying about the safety of these cells, chucking them in an envelope and shipping them halfway around the globe isn't ideal. So vaping shut down our battery supplies.
No, because it was last year, wasn't it, that Royal Mail and Co suddenly cottoned on to all these batteries suddenly flinging around the world.
It was 2012, and there was a massive embargo. So anyone who was expecting vape mail around about August or September 2012 suddenly got it all delayed by a month or so. I know because my first vaping order was in that.
Oh, okay.
And basically what it was all the Chinese shipping companies turned around and said, no, we're not shipping these anymore. and any packages that were containing cells stopped.
Right.
If you got through, but they basically stopped it. Now, if you want to get them shipped, you actually have to have them in a device, which is stupidly dangerous.
Yeah, that puzzled me, that one. Surely I don't know if I've got one to hand, but no, I don't. But in a little battery box would be a lot safer than having something that could potentially short or, provide some sort of connection.
It's not shorting out. One of the get-arounds suggested was you bought a torch that carried the amount of batteries that you wanted.
Yes.
Or a power pack. The portable 18650 to USB chargers.
Yeah, that used for your phones or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. And you shipped that over. Now, that's ideal if the torch can be locked out or the power bank can be locked out so it can't be activated when the buttons get pressed.
Yeah.
It's not ideal if they can't be and they don't have low voltage cutoff, because then you'll receive, if it's not detonated the plane when the cells go into thermal runaway, dead cells.
Yeah.
But that was one of the suggested get-arounds. I've never known it to actually happen or work. And my comments at the time was what they should do is send them with a blank, so that the bottom spring or one of the springs that connected the circuit up was isolated by a plastic blank.
I mean, I know every battery I've ordered since that whole embargo thing has just come in one of those transparent little 18650 boxes, it holds two.
Yeah, they usually say Ultrafire on them.
Yeah, that's the ones, yeah. Yeah. But, I've never had... I did have a case once. I ordered some batteries from Torchy, and after about a month and a half, they still didn't show up. So I got in touch with Torchy. I said, excuse us, mate, these batteries haven't arrived. He goes, okay, yeah, it's been a while. I'll send you some more. 3 months later, they turn up.
Yeah, held in the post.
Aye. But there is a thread on UKV somewhere with a photo on there, and I wrote the date that actually arrived on there, so you can see. But it's quite fun.
Well, they shouldn't be shipped. The post office shouldn't ship them.
No.
Neither should anyone else, because they are banned. Same as e-liquid. You shouldn't ship e-liquid by post either, but everyone does.
Yes, it's...
But if you adhere to the rules of the carriers, you shouldn't be able to buy them like that. The only way you can get them shipped is surface, sea travel, cross-continent, and specific carriers. And the only way you do that is by buying 400 to 500 at a time and then selling them on, one way or the other.
Right. We're getting a bit short on time now, Graham. So I think we should wrap up. Really, we need to go to the ad break.
Yeah, so boring.
So basically, in a nutshell, then, if you're going to buy batteries, buy them from someone that tests them.
Yeah, if someone's publishing data on the batteries, they know what they're doing. There's not many people have access to that. In the UK, there's practically no one that has what I would consider suitable equipment.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much for joining us, and no doubt we'll have you on again to discuss more.
I'll be in chat in 5 minutes' time.
Oh, no. Okay, then. So we'll go to the ads, and everyone, say ta-ra to Graham.
All right, goodbye, everybody. 5 minutes. See you later, man.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Kelpie Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
And we're back. So that was Graham's 1001 Gord's Entwistle, or whatever. I don't really think that's his real name. Anyway, so that was an enlightening chat. I mean, to be honest, it could have gone on for a little bit longer, but you know, there's only so much science and tech chat we can cram into one show before people start getting a bit bored. So yeah, I was going to show during the segment, but didn't get the chance. But I do actually have here 2 AW 18500 batteries. One of these is a genuine, and one of these is actually a clone. Hang on, let's get these lined up. I don't know if you can tell which is the genuine, which is the clone. I don't have autofocus enabled on this camera, otherwise it would constantly be out of focus because of fog. But yes, there we go. So that one is a genuine, and that one is a clone. You can tell the stickers different. AW have changed their stickers again recently. I don't have the new set, and the tops are ever so slightly different as well. Basically, I noticed straight away it was a clone. It actually came from a vendor who actually stated they were AW batteries. It came free with another mod. I've never used it, so I don't know if it's a good one or not. And frankly, I don't ever want to find out. I just kept it just in case I ever needed to show it, and guess what? I did. So there we go. Right then, let's have a little bit of a vape, shall we? And then we might move on to the next part in a moment. I must say, it's very nice that we've got people that watch this show and joining in chat that actually are able to come on and talk at length about subjects like this. You know, it's impressive stuff that we have very knowledgeable people that actually watch this show and are more than happy to chip in and give us points of views and opinions. So I'm very, very pleased with how that's gone. Anyway, we have a little bit of VT now from a guy. You saw him on Monday night when we were all being a bit crackers. Anyway, sit back and enjoy Mr. Sutton reviewing the SVD2.
Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome. Tonight I am going to be reviewing the SVD 2.0, and here it is. I went for the rugged steel version. It's a 20 watt device and it's only got 3 buttons on it. It's got a very simple menu, but it's got something very interesting under the hood. It's evolved technology. Now, where is it? Where is he? Where is my little device? Where's he gone? The Darwin. Where are you? Darwin. There you are. Okay, that is a Darwin. I got this many years ago. Now, this is DNA technology, prehistoric now. But when you look at the menu system, see, you press the power button, and you'll see there, DNA. I'm at 20 watts at the moment, at 0.6 ohm. On the Atlantis using the proper battery.
Another thing that I should mention is that if you hold the plus and the minus buttons down together, after a little while, it will lock it. So there you go, power locked, hold up and down, hold them up and hold the up and down buttons again. You then got free control again.
That's it for the menu, really. You can't do anything more with it apart from if you give it 1, 2, 3 clicks and the screen is locked. So if I just show you that, if I try and vape it, it says locked. It's locked. You can't use it. So yeah. So if I unlock that, beep, 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 it's back in vaping mode, and if we press the button, it's crackling away like a good one. In terms of usage of it, you can't switch to variable voltage mode. It's just wattage. But once you know your wattage, beautiful, beautiful. But this isn't about what's on top, this is about the device itself. So I've proved that it vapes at 20 watts and it's doing it very well. What you get in the little kit is also quite interesting. You get the device, you don't get a battery. So I will take the battery out. Battery's out. And it comes apart in 3 sections. You have this section, which has got all the buttons on it. Lovely. You have the bottom cap, and you have a center 18650 tube, which is the one that I use most of the time. But it also comes with a tiny little wee tube, which allows you to use an 18350. Now, this is the only 18350 I've got. I don't get very much vaping time out of it, but I can see, and I have used it just to test that it works, I can see it does reduce the form factor of it. So let's put it back together now. So what I find is you put that section on, this is probably the best way to do it, and as you can see it's sort of curved for your hand, and then you put the battery in right way around, and you put the top of the base on, and there we have it. There it is in 18350 mode, and it is tiny wee small, and you can see it's sort of almost palmable. So yeah, it's tiny. It's saying that battery's fully charged. So the other thing is, the reason I got this was because I am using the Nautilus and the Mini Nautilus quite a lot. I say quite a lot, most of the time. So I got a Mini Nautilus with a steel tank with the glass viewing window. I won't say what it looks like because kids might be watching, but use your imagination, people. I don't quite know why they made it that shape, but it's interesting. Anyway, so screwing it on, and now I am using at the moment the flat cap on this, the top cap, because if we unscrew this, underneath here is a fitting which allows the other top which comes with it, which is ego threaded, and it allows you to do that, and there's your device ego threaded. If I compare that ego threading to another device with it, you can see it's the same, so that's good. And let me just put an Aspire K1 on here. Now, I'm a big fan of the Aspires. I use it on my Twist and my Aspire CF, and it's a great out and about little atomizer tank thing, cartomizer, I suppose. But yeah, a good vape. But the only problem with this is on these small little diddy ones here, it doesn't have the normal air adjustment. With this SVD 2.0, very tight draw, and yeah, because there's no airflow, I hardly got any vapor. But normally on something else that allows airflow, that is a good vape. But the reason why I got it was because this cap here is flush. So if I put a Nautilus, a big Nautilus on there, you will see that, excitingly, it doesn't have a gap. Now, every other sort of tube mod that I'd had, when you screw anything in that's designed to sort of go in snug, it's always got a tiny little bit of a gap. But this is entirely flush. Obviously, you can go crazy and do this and put the ego threading on, and then put a plinth on, a vanity ring, as some call it, and then put your Nautilus on that. And then you end up with that sort of crazy, sort of lightsaber-y looking type thing. But it still works. And I am, at the moment, because I had the Atlantis on there, I'm still at 20 watts. So what you do to get back to the menu, because if you press the button, it goes to sleep, and it's asleep. It's zizzing. The only thing that will bring it back to life is pressing the button, and then it brings out that menu, and you can see, it's the wrong way around, you can see that that's at 19 watts. So then you use the plus and the minus. I'm going to press the plus and the minus, just the minus, and then keep pressing it, and it will whiz down. And I want this at about 10 watts. 9.8, that's fine. So let's give it a vape. Lovely. That looks very good. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So there we go. Very reminiscent of the Darwin menu because it is made by the same company. The button gives you the ability to bring the menu back up. And yeah, looks like my old Darwin, but it goes up to 20 watts. In terms of build quality, the threads are good. It feels solid. 18350 mode, it's a bit smaller. That's a Vision Spinner 2. So it's still quite a big mod, even in its smallest setting, because this head unit, the bit where the magic happens, is quite large. So what I'll do is I'll take this out and swap it out, just a standard 18650 in, and there we have it. There it is in its full size. Now, obviously, out of this, I get a full day. Now, what I would recommend is when you change the battery on this, always change the battery, unscrewing this and taking the battery out. Because I took the battery out by doing that, right? And then put the battery in there and then put it back together. For some reason, it made contact where it shouldn't do, and this got crazy hot. And anything that gets crazy hot with batteries, I get a little bit wary. So that's because I was just being different. I would say always, this bit is designed to allow you put the battery in and screw it in without any trouble and making any false contacts. Now, the interesting thing as well, I've just put that battery in. You would think it would probably be off, but it's not, amazingly. It's actually, it just boots up again and straight away. Now, the battery meter there does evaluate quite accurately how much battery you've got at the wattage you are vaping at. So it is quite accurate, and I'm noticing no drop off whatsoever. It's a really I'm liking this device. The only negative I would say is the size. If I'm going out, I'll take something smaller, but that's personal preference again, you know. And you have got the option to make it smaller. You've also got lots of other things in the little case that it comes with it, and I'll just run you through that quickly. It comes with this zippered case, a sunglass case basically. It's got the little logo in the corner there, and it comes with a lanyard. Woo, a lanyard! Never used one. The interesting thing is built into the case. It's got a little battery meter, and these little contacts here, which if you attach the battery to it, it clicks on that side, and that illuminates. How cool is that? So that tells me that battery, according to this, is got a charge. And then if I leave it, it'll go out. Any minute now. There we are. So there we go. So in this case, you can get all your stuff. You can tuck everything away in the little webby bits. You can do that. You can put that in there. That's supposed to be the device, I suppose. But you're going to have the device with you, aren't you? I never put the device in the case. You can put that in there. You can put a spare battery there. You know, whatever you want. It's up to you. Go crazy. So there we are. And that all zips up. So there's my thoughts on the SVD version 2.0. 20 watts, 18650, 18350. DNA technology inside from Evolve. Bulletproof. Bit big. Different top caps. Ego threading. Flush fitted. Flat cap. Great. I like it. If you like what you hear and you think you would like it too, why not have a look around on the internet and see if you can find one? They are here, there and everywhere. And for me, it's money well spent. Oh, and by the way, I was not sent this for purposes of review. This is purely bought with my own cash. So my thoughts are my own, and if you agree with them, comment. If you disagree with them, comment too. So thanks for watching. I've been Andy, Smoke to Vape. You've been fantastic. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye. Okay. Really hurting. Ooh.
How slick was that? God, makes us look like rank amateurs. Then he should, considering his job. So yeah, that was Mr. Andy Sutton and his thoughts on the SVD2. Got to be honest, when I first saw that announced, I was quite excited by the whole prospect of an Evolve board inside a mass-produced mod. Superb partnership, I really do. And the SVD one was a popular device, so I'm sure this will be as well. I did notice a couple of comments from chat. I'll just see if I can scroll back up to them. No, I've lost it now. But someone in there, I forget who it was, apologies, basically said that they made another couple of changes to the DNA 20 board that's in there. Yes, they did. One, it's got reverse battery protection, so you can put the battery in the other way around and you're not going to fry the board, which you would have done on the original DNA 20. The other thing it's got is it's got step down. On the original DNA 20 and the 30, if you had your resistance lower than it could regulate down to. So say for example, if you wanted to fire at 8 watts, but you had 4.2 volts in your battery, and your ohmage was low, such as in order to achieve 8 watts, it'd have to be it'd have to fire at voltage lower than what your battery level was. It would just give you the battery level. You wouldn't get 8 watts out of it. So they've done that. It's got a step down as well. So yeah, and also there's a little chatter in there about the MVP version 3, which is one I'm really looking forward to. Simply because my missus really, really loves the MVP. She's got an MVP 1, she's got an MVP 2. And as soon as the MVP 3 comes out, I'll be buying one for her. Anyway, let's go on to the adverts, and we'll be back in a little moment with a new segment.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
And we're back. Right then, so without any further ado, I've got a new segment, and that is DNA fortification, in which I build things for the DNA 40. I'm starting it off pretty simple this week with a K-Fun, but feel free to get in touch with me, you know, using that hashtag, and if you've got any requests for other builds. But let's kick things off now with the K-Fun, shall we? Okay then, so we're gonna start the series with our good old faithful K-Fun. Everyone knows a K-Fun, right? So we'll start with that and we'll work onwards. So what we're going to need for this then, I've got some 29 gauge Ni 200 wire or nickel wire, 29 AWG, that's 0.3 millimeters. I don't know why the Crazy Wire Company, they often, well, they're not consistent. They often label it as either AWG or, hang on, case in point, this one it says 0.2. So go figure. Anyway, there we go. So right, let's crack on, shall we? I'm going to use my standard of a green syringe needle, as I generally like to work with those. So I'm just going to grab myself a length of this wire. This won't take long at all. Okay, put that to one side. Here we have length of wire. Now, let's just move this to one side for the moment. There we go. Now, the thing with nickel wire is it's very, very malleable. It stays where you put it. So unlike our standard canfold wire, I don't burn this first. I literally just get straight on with it. So here we go. Let's try and get some focus on here. Okay, what I do here, now the trick is to wind this so your coils aren't touching. You can wind it close, but don't wind it so your coils are touching. So, and also, to be honest, it doesn't really matter how many winds you do. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 for luck. So there we go, and you can see there it just literally stays where I put it. It doesn't spring around or anything. I'm just going to pinch it a bit closer together and then ever so gently pull it apart. That will ensure me some nice consistent spacing. So I don't know if we can get a close-up of that. That's about as good as I'm going to get, I'm afraid. But you can see there the gaps between the wire. Okay, so we got that far. Now, standard K-Fun type. I literally just want to wrap these legs around here. Now, the thing you must do with nickel wire, well, you must do anyway, you must make sure you've got a very, very solid connection. Otherwise, it simply just won't work properly. Okay, so that's one. That's 2. Now, there we go. I mean, I've tightened that down pretty solidly. So let's just get my legs out of the way. Okay, let's give these a trim actually while I'm here. Really, once you get the hang of this stuff is a joy to work with. It really is. It's so much easier than canfold. So there we have it. So let's see if I can just get some focus action on there. Apparently I cannot. There we go. Needs about that distance. So there you go. You can see the gaps between the wire there. Drop that on there. I'll just get myself a mod. Obviously a DNA 40 mod, because this is going to be quite low ohms. Like I said, the actual ohmage doesn't matter that much, to be fair. It's not like coiling up your traditional, you know, your canfold builds. So there we go. some focus. That'll do. And it's kind of temperature protected there. Obviously, we're not going to see any burn. If you see the coil glowing, it's not right. Okay, so we don't want to see anything actually happen there at all. Okay, so I'm just going to wick this up. Another tip as well, actually, don't build your coils on the device. Always, when you're doing anything with a DNA 40, take it off the device first. Okay, and then you worry about putting your wick in or what have you. Okay, so right, you know, from this point on, it is a standard K-Fun build with cotton. There's no difference at all. You just got to be careful with that wire. In fact, that's a bit slanted, so I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit. There we go. Now, those of you that watched the show the other night with Brandon on it will go some way to explaining why I'm not actually doing a full microcoil and actually having it all touching. Simply because the slightest movement can throw the DNA 40 out. So what you want to do, basically, is not allow it to actually touch. Therefore, you can't really throw the DNA 40 out of whack. I have done actual proper microcoils, but to be honest, this works really, really well. So there we go. That's a standard build. So all I've got to do at this point is juice it up, put the chimney on, job's a good one, and fill her up. So there we go. Now back to me in the studio, and I'll most likely be vaping this. Cheers. Alright, there we go. So that's the first in my DNA fortification. Note the play on words there. Fun, cunning. Right, so here it is. It's not exactly chucking out the vapour, but it's a K-Fun. Flavour is very, very good. Anyway, moving swiftly on because we're running very, very short on time. We had a request on the Twitter for this to happen. Say hello, Mr. Dawn.
Hello, Mr. Dawn.
We're going to have a little cloud off.
Are we? All right,
Apparently we are, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've got no idea why.
I don't know. Someone mentioned it. Who's first then?
Oh, you go. You're the host.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a gentleman. Ladies first.
The something before the shovel, is it?
Something like that. Pearls before swine.
All right. There we go, and that is a single coil on a DNA 40 at 40 watts and a 0.19 ohm coil. Go on then, Mr. Dawn, your turn.
Right, well, I'm running a DNA 40, get a glug of that, at 0.08 ohms. Coil of duality on this here dark horsey job. Look at the drip tip on that. Seriously, it's like a dustbin. Sick as tit! It's... at 39 watts, just because I don't like, you know...
He's going to show me up even more now. 39, really. I was at 40.
Well, I'll go to 4, right? I'll go to 40. Bloody hell, I don't know these fellas. I blame Neil Ruff.
Yep. Right, I'm done.
What?
Oh,
that was just a warm up.
Oh, go on then, go on, give it another one.
That do?
I think that will, and I think that'll demonstrate that anyone that thinks 40 watts isn't enough are very, very, very wrong.
On this kind of setup, I mean, seriously, it's something else again. And I've just noticed my flattery's nearly back, so it's probably not even chucking the whole thing out. I don't know.
There we go, Neil. You got what you wanted. Don't say we don't try and please you.
I think I want one for Christmas.
Righto, I'm going to play you guys out of the ad break. Not the ad break, the coming up trailer, because we're close to time. So until next week, Toodaloo. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
RY4 Radio.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.